Alright, we keep on going here. Convert the following equations to polar. Um, Again, when we do these, it's probably helpful to have near us that tangent of theta is equal to y over x. It's probably also helpful to remind ourselves that x squared plus y squared is equal to r squared, and that x is equal to r cosine theta, and that y is equal to r sine theta. All right, so on number 4, it says, I'm sorry, you couldn't see any of that, could you? There it is again. My apologies. So on example 4 here, part A, we know the equation is y equals 4. And then more specifically, we know that y is equal to r times the cosine of theta. So since these are both y equals, we know that 4 is equal to r times the cosine of theta, which means, I just messed this up. My apologies. R is equal to the r sine theta. Y is equal to r sine theta. So then we would undo the multiply by sine theta by dividing by sine theta. So 4 divided by the sine of theta is equal to r. And if you have a sine in the denominator, that would be the same as cosecant. So r is equal to 4 cosecant of theta. There's our polar equation. All right, what about x squared plus y squared is equal to 25? Well, we need to remember that r is the same thing as, or x is the same thing as r cosine theta. So this would be r cosine theta squared. Y is the same thing as r sine theta. So that's r sine theta squared. And then that would still be equal to 25. So we multiply that out. We get r squared cosine squared theta plus r squared sine squared theta. And then we want to pull out that common r squared times the quantity of cosine squared theta plus sine squared theta, and that is equal to 25. And we know that cosine squared theta plus sine squared theta is 1. So that means that r squared is equal to 25, which means that our r is 5. There's our polar equation for that. Yes, circle with a radius 5. Okay, let's keep on going here. This would be the example 5. It says convert the following equations to rectangular form and then sketch a graph of them. Well, we know that r times sine theta is equal to 3. When we see the sine theta there, and we think about y's. So if r sine theta is equal to 3, and we know that y is the same thing as r sine theta, that means that y is equal to 3. So y equals 3, that would be a horizontal line. All right, we got r is equal to 2 cosine theta. R is equal to 2 cosine theta. First step here is to square everything. We want to, actually, I don't want to square everything. I want to multiply everything by r. So if I multiply everything in this by r, I end up with r squared, and that's equal to 2 times r times the cosine of theta. All right. Now, thinking about this, we think about what is r squared equal to? Well, r squared is equal to x squared plus y squared, and that is equal to 2. And now we have an r cosine theta, which is the same as x. We have 2x. So bringing our 2x to the other side, we have x squared minus 2x plus y is equal to 0. To graph this, we need to complete the square. So we divide by 2 here. and then we would square it. So this is x squared minus 2x plus 1 plus y, and since we added 1 here on this side, we need to add 1 on this side. So this is x minus 1, the quantity of that, squared, plus y squared is equal to 1. So this would be a circle that's been moved to the right 1 and up 0, and it's got a radius of 1. So it's just a circle. All right, next up is C, where theta is equal to 2 pi over 3. So we know we need to kind of think about what the cosine of 2 pi over 3 and what the sine of 2 pi over 3 would be, because we know that x would be equal to r times the cosine of 2 pi over 3, and we know that y would be equal to r times the sine of 2 pi over 3. Well, the cosine of 2 pi over 3, that would be a negative 1/2. So x is equal to negative 1/2 times r, and y would be equal to sine of 2 pi over 3 is root 3 over 2, so root 3 over 2r. All right, so we now know what x is and we know what y is. So what we need to do is we need to rewrite this so that it says r equals. So to do that, we would multiply by negative 2. So when I do that, I get negative 2x is equal to r, and then sub that into our y here. Y is equal to radical 3 over 2 times a negative 2x, and the 2's cancel, and you get that y is equal to negative square root of 3 times x. Square root of 3 is 1.7, so that means we're going right or down 1.73 and over 1. So there's our slope, and I'm just kind of freehanding that right there. There's our equation. All right, why don't we stop there, and you guys have a good rest of the day.